Hello. Hi. Well, that was quick, Petunia. That was quick indeed. You were there before I was. Hey, how's life? I'm speedy. Wow. You are. Just a second. So, last time, which was Thursday? I think it was Thursday. We experienced, I guess, what they call a cliffhanger. Yeah. Let me do the thing. Yeah. Last time there was a lot of waffle. Yes, there was. I feel like last time I barely spoke. Everything just went on by itself, which is fine, I guess. But, you know, games need to have lore and story progression and stuff. It was just a lot, and now we're basically doing a thing, whatever the thing might be.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I think it's also great that we just don't heal full for some reason. And movie-length cutscenes, basically, yeah. Yeah. Okay, we do still have a lot of, like, items to heal ourselves with. Oh boy. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go in, I guess, because this is where we left off last time.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past.
Yes.
I
Oh, sorry, I had to press the
anything.
button.
Whatever happens.
Okay, the only way is
I'm
forward.
determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that.
Yesterday I figured out, because I'm playing another Tales game, Tales of Berseria, with a friend. The main villain in Tales of Berseria has the same voice actor as Elfin, which I just recognized yesterday. But, you know. Okay, there's nothing in here. What does the map say? Oh.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
Was that his
I want to
room?
look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure.
Indeed it
Check
is.
it out.
Indeed it is.
This looks like some kind of research facility.
Do you reckon I was in there?
Laboratory
In that tube?
secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
I mean, there's barely any dust. I wouldn't call that deserted. You are the tube. I might be.
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't
A
cover
little
it.
bit.
If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Do you think they
Did no one ever
cloned me?
talk about it when you were
Or
growing
something?
up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, sovereigns and forbidden zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone.
I mean, they
is a
probably
hallowed
wouldn't
place,
if I messed it up.
one with the sovereign's
Which,
authority,
as of right now, we
realms of
think
the
I
one
did.
true ruler who presides over all
Probably
Renans.
wouldn't have the same guy
That is what we
doing it again.
believed this place to be.
I have a rant about
No,
fictitious
but we were
scientific
made to
research
believe it
facilities,
was.
but it's long. Oh
But
no.
now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
Do you mean how there's like nothing there? Oh. An operating table. Many subjects undoubtedly never came back alive from their operations on this. Oh. Okay, and there's plans because... Oh. Oh, wait. Oh! 200 IQ, just jump over. Prepare yourself. So, oh, oof. Okay, I think I'm prepared. And notice, this area will now be shut down as the project proceeds to the final phase. Is that a trash? Oh no, it's not a trash can. For some reason I thought that was a bin.
I think I can make this work.
Do it. I was watching this movie yesterday. It was shite, but that's besides the point. Okay.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it.
Why can't I
Reams
just
of them
voice messages
dating back
here?
hundreds of years.
Oh,
Let's
that would be
see.
horrible. Imagine that in a big
composite
chat.
being capable of controlling
Ugh.
Danon astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure taking the form of a Danon.
So I don't even have parents. I was
Codename
created.
Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the master cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
These
About the
scientists were saving the
lords.
world and shit.
Why would
the
they be
usual.
on there?
As they do.
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made
expecting
subject
a good
to some
rant.
kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait,
What is it? Did you find something?
it's a list of names.
Ooh.
With the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign.
Mm-hmm.
It's your call.
Yep. I
Read
mean,
it.
yes, of course.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful.
It was me.
Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really.
So he was made in a lab.
What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index,
That's
generation, NA.
Volrand, right? Or
Given
whatever his
name.
name was.
Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment
I'm
was
gonna read that in a
success.
second.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Maybe
Not
it's
that
the
I
other
can see.
maiden?
Just
Maybe?
file upon file of experiment results.
I don't know.
There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, on to the Rand.
this
They were
is where
doing
Alfred
chemistry and
became the
biology,
sovereign.
which diseases
And Volra
generally
as
are,
well.
and they always draw stuff all over the walls or
significance of
blackboarding or
this
something.
location would
It's just all
suggest-
just wherever,
it looks
every
like
single
the
time.
terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them.
Been
might contain
around
valuable
many
information.
scientists because I am one, and a single one of them keeps notes like that. They have meticulously kept lab books with the occasional post-it note in it, and they always use the right science too. But I did color in a nice picture of bees, so that made up for that. That's good. Bees are friends.
Only 2 sovereigns.
Bees are
in
very
over
good,
300
very
years.
good boys.
So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohan.
It smells so much of like instant noodles here, like those
Forgive me.
Chinese instant
Alvin.
noodles.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken.
I
that's
just
all.
took my headphone off to smell better.
I knew what I
What's
was
wrong with
already.
me?
So it's not like it's a surprise or anything.
What is wrong with me?
It's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's
Have you been
for.
noodling? I haven't.
I'm scared that I'll put a face to it. Just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it. Before you ever got
Phantom
that far.
nudes, yeah, basically. Or like a neighbor, I don't
Wouldn't we,
know.
everyone?
Yeah.
Maybe someone is
we
preparing
wouldn't
noodles in
just
front of
sit
my
by and
window.
watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
It is Saturday after all. Yeah. I mean,
Thank you,
it's the best
everyone.
time to prepare some nudes in front of windows.
I think I'll be okay now.
Well, his mind changed rather quickly, so am I just now expected to just read up on the things? Replacing the Sovereign, Maiden, and Renus armor within the central core of Lenegis. Okay. Well, let me check first if all of these terminals have the same thing. Oh. Oh. It is sieve covering the wearer's face. That restricts their mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Okay. Appendum. No, addendum, sorry. Okay. Do they all have different things? Lords. Oh. Level 2 decrease, okay. It's so weird because I feel like we have no clue so far not only who could be the perpetrator or who could be behind this, like if it's an organization or like a single person or whatever, or even why, like what is happening. I feel like we are so far into the game and currently we are so so clueless about everything that's going on here. It makes me just want to, especially because I feel like we are pretty far in, right? I could imagine that next play session or whatever, we could technically beat it. At least that's how I feel, you know? Might still have 20 hours, you know, but I don't know. But could also be today. So I'm just like, I'm currently in this mode, which I've talked about a couple of times, where it's, I'm currently basically in go mode. I feel like I don't want to be held up by stuff. Now I want to finish the game and do like the story bits. And this always happens when I reach this stage in the game, usually. Because I feel like it's when all of the interesting stuff starts to happen and you do get access to a lot of information regarding the story, so you're just basically hooked now and you want to just see the outcome and understand everything and so on. But we've been here before. We've been here in our dreams, and this was like already always locked for us. No. And yes, it feels like we're pretty close to the end. That's me.
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
Okay.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill.
He looked like a burnt match.
I'm sorry
Shit,
for
he
what
does,
you've
yeah.
endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
I need one of those. I need one of those
His injuries
chambers.
are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse,
Oh.
long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system.
That's what we just read. I mean, not the 10% thing, but...
If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try.
Maybe she should have thought about all that before she jammed his head in it. You know.
I hope it's enough.
Would have been a smart choice, but do we do smart choices here? Not always.
Live for me, Alphen.
Definitely not always.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with
I've totally
Lenegis
forgotten how
crumbling
his
down
eyes
around
look
her,
like, by the way.
she chose to stay put
Because
with
I
the
haven't
people.
seen them the entire
So
game.
that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision
this
Naori
noodle
made
smell
to
again.
save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More
Maybe
than
I also
could ever
just
hope to
am
repay.
having a stroke or something.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories.
How long was that break? Shion, please.
Sense of pain as a result.
Okay.
But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
That's when people say plans in the workspace make people relaxed. And then they put just plants there too. You know? Because they're like, yeah, let's put some plants there. Makes people relaxed. Oh. Oh. Chased. Heavy treat. That's heavy nice. That's what that is. Is there anything in here? Oh. We just got rat traps with internet connection. Yeah, because they would definitely want to connect to MySpace before they inevitably die. You know, to tell their mice friends what's up.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
MySpace.
Of course.
That wasn't even planned.
After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the Renis Alma was.
Yeah, it was. Past tense.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
Just like me in the morning on a metal festival.
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen,
Kill me.
but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
No. He did a thing. Okay, we need to keep moving. Both of those? Nah. They just start doing whatever they're doing. Oh.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
No.
It's been a year since the ceremony.
Oh.
That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
Maybe she is.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. the purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Elfin's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renus Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening.
Nips magnetic.
But that power showed me
Trap sent an email to someone far away. It doesn't work in our building.
oblivion.
That there's a rat in it.
When I realized
no,
that
that
vision
seems
was
very
a prophecy
complicated.
of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't.
That's
go
like 2
through it.
extra steps.
But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of
So
me.
how did Shion become the maiden?
But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renus Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renus Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renus Alma was lost, and Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could.
Well, define the world
Time
here.
needed for a new
Because-
Renus Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse onto my descendants as well.
Ah. So she willingly...
Forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was
Gave her the
something more I
thorns.
could have done.
Wait, you can't just... Naori.
So does that mean the
That
old...
message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the
Is the
Ganon
Renus Alma then
voice
still in her
speaking through her?
somehow? Or the power of it or whatever? Great-great-great-granddaughter called it. You did. Oh. Our clothes changed. Oh no. Oh, I look fancy as fuck.
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appear
Sure.
now because...
Naori
Because
must
we are
have left
those.
them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renus Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, master cores and spirit vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a maiden and sovereign.
We do.
Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns.
So she wasn't even wrong from the very beginning, Shion. She knew that Renis Alma would do it.
It's
for
possible?
some reason.
You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
He is
You're
not
right.
wrong.
It's
He
the
is not
barest
wrong.
sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to
He
stake
just can't
everything
wait
I've
to
got
get in
on
her
it.
pants. Well,
I know it's too
He is
early
but
to
a
let
man.
myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come
my
all this
favorite.
way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
just.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shion at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they
Yes.
say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
Yeah. Not me, though.
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Naori.
Oh, no.
So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault
Oh.
that you're cursed.
Oh.
You're wrong.
Are
What
they
happened to
blaming
you was
themselves
because of
now,
the ceremony,
everybody?
and Naori's attempt to stop
Are you
oblivion.
stuck with the outfit now?
You paid
Well,
a heavy price for it.
I don't
and then
think
fell
so.
asleep for 300 years.
You know,
The reason you lost your
you will see.
memories.
Is the reason for your curse.
I will just leave it on
The
anyway
thorns.
for a bit.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No, the truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack.
Yeah, smack the man.
Embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting
Sure.
my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
No.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good.
Can we
We'll
do the
keep
fight
on
then?
Fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
Ah. Shion, latest maiden. Maximum AG by 1, which is nice. Revitalize. That's so good. CP restoration when full. Oh. Just that took a moment. Yeah, I guess let's go for that. We have some stuff still. This is elemental defense. Sure. Penetration 30. Well, that gotta go for AG increase. We gotta. Resistance 50, and this is Sodale Farrer. That. Oh, now that's a picture. That's so fucking good. Holy shit. Oh no, we were wearing that before. That's also so good. Oh. Nice. That background looks sick though, right? Skill panel. Let's go with, where were we? We were doing him. I guess resistance is not too bad. Let's finish this. Does he have anything? Yes, we can finish this. And then I guess we're gonna wait for that. Shouldn't be too difficult. And with her, I guess. Yeah, let's go for that. The woman with no walls. I don't know why women have walls
Sounds
now.
like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first
I
showed
don't
me
know
that
these
such a
things.
thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dana.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring person.
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The ones separating the Renans from the Danans, or herself from others. She had no need for them.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh? Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we can aspire to.
Yeah, nice. So I assume we just leave north way? No. Renna. We're still not on Renna, right? I mean, we're still on Lenegis, so... I mean, judging by the feeling that I'm getting from the game, it feels like we are like an hour away of finishing the game. But we might also not be, you know? I hate this. I hate this part. Because you want to know if it's worth it to
That's quite
finish the
some door,
game
all
in this
right.
session, but you never
might
know.
finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
Because it's always, I mean, I wouldn't want to leave a game with like 20 minutes left to play, obviously, right? But if I still have 5 hours ahead of me, I don't want to push for an hour and then maybe not another hour, because I think it's almost done.
This is
I mean,
it,
we
guys.
still have a lot of time
Time to
because
see what secrets
barely
are
been
in
streaming an
store.
hour, but you know how it is. the video game. The things. Oh. Now that looks fucking grand. Thorny. A strange manor.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It looks completely different.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place, it reminds me more of being back inside the wedge.
Except the Danon astral energy feels even stronger here.
In a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin Sovereign.
Maybe he just has strange tastes?
This place looks like it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries ago. Or perhaps even further back. Still, this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken of in artistic circles.
Double hood.
What is it then?
Is my life.
Hold up, decadence? Artistic circles?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme, it descends into kitsch, eccentricity for the sake of it. I'd be happy to illuminate you further.
That depends. Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
In that case, I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to rumble.
Now all we need is something to fill up the void inside your head.
Shut up!
Bah, bah, bah. She's just straight savage, isn't she? For fuck's sake. I like that it is just a part of our group now to roast Law. I'm enjoying that. I'm a big fan. I'm glad we managed to do the safety save before the cutscene trigger.
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait though, something doesn't seem right here.
Well, he is kind of, you know, strapped down.
The world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey look, over there.
You think the red woman is
That the
the maiden?
crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the maiden?
It looks like it's still
Oh.
running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma.
Yes.
Right now, we need that most of all.
Why are they standing around to discuss?
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Elfin, look!
The Red Woman!
See?
So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
Oh
They all
no.
have the same face? How is that even possible?
Oh no. Well, she doesn't look happy to see us. What's...
What
Well,
is this?
that kind of looks like the
hell are
knights.
It can't be.
I mean, it's supposed to
Are
be,
they
I
even
guess.
people?
It's hard to know for
Does it
sure, but
matter?
I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
She's miffed. Oh, where's that noodle smell coming from? Red woman.
They're not
No, well,
feeling
that's...
particularly talkative.
It's no use, Elfin. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
That is a lot of HP.
No further!
Mega Ray! Annihilate! Mega Ray!
Can you take it? Does it hurt? The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
I assume that Alphen and Shion did get a pretty significant power boost just now because of the new armor and weapons and stuff. So I'm just gonna bank on them doing a fuck ton of everything.
I never miss!
Not so fast! This should do it! Now we're never! Dragon Swarm!
Let me help!
I also don't know if focusing on one of them is the best shout, but that's just what I'm gonna do now.
Can you take it? Ignite! Crescent Flash!
Shooting star!
So what was their weakness? Nothing that I have.
Get out of this!
That's for certain. It could be shadow, darkness.
I'll be standing for!
Dance on the wind!
Oh,
Flaming thrust!
I'm going to use all the power of my healing
Dance on the
rod.
wind! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
he looks very royal. Alphen does look nice with that cape and stuff. He looks very, yeah, royal, I guess. That was a good word. Already.
Anything in armor is all mine!
Begin! Does it hurt? Armor won't save you!
Glacial spear! Pierce it!
You're mine!
Fire away!
You know what I would like to see? Let's go to her. Let's make her do revitalize once. All allies HP. Let's do it on Alpha.
All the power of my healing rod. With this.
Well, she did just first aid. It's okay. That's okay. Didn't want her to use revitalize anyway.
Soaring blast! Nothing will hold me. In your face!
Raging storm! That'll bring you down!
Does it hurt? Double demon!
So Alphen's pretty much dead.
Ignite! I'll grind you into legs!
Lightning
Can you take it? Does it hurt?
Okay.
Anything in armor is all mine! Now you see what I can do! Keep prepared. Demon cure! Double demon feather! Slash! Try this! Infernal turret! Take this! Denied! Can't get out of this! Vacuum blade!
Okay, well, so far so good. I do expect another form or something, like another phase, something, because I doubt that this is gonna be it, right? Oh,
I'll grind you into dust! The tempest engulfs you! Devastation! I'll grind you into dust! Behold! The Earth's pulse! Tectonic fission! Seismic rupture! Rising wyvern! Smash you! Thunderous devastation!
ah, shit.
Try harder! Do you require a hand?
I'm all stuffed up. Close one.
At least she fucking dodged.
Demon feather!
Oh,
This is my fault.
no, Alphen.
Grind you into dust! I'll face you! Dance on the wind!
Okay, nice. Alphen is revived.
Take this!
That was spinny, yeah. Okay.
In an instant!
Okay. Okay. That was okay.
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
No. As if.
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve.
Boom.
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
That gun.
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
So are we just able to take it?
Who said you could touch that?
No.
Damn it! He's awake! I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
Well, not like we can't do it again.
Bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Maybe he is controlling the entire thing.
Really, is that what you think?
Oh. Well,
Did you
or he
really
isn't.
think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Maybe he's my kid. He's my great-great-great-grandson.
Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen?
Oh, or that.
But then he became a...
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Danan are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I
Wow.
will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
Oh.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me.
She's just gonna
Let them
murder
know
him,
I'll
isn't she?
make them suffer.
Instantly, probably.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alva!
Yikes. I suppose it's time to get out.
We need to go. Alphen!
He just wants to save him, right? He doesn't. He doesn't even give a fuck. Okay. I thought Alphen would at least turn around and be like, yo, we can't leave him here. But apparently he can. No. Now he has to catch her and it's pain and is he gonna let her fall? Well, cock. Oof, there's some tea. That's what we call trust.
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. He yoinked her. He did.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
But we have a guy named Law.
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volron... Have we finally seen the last of him?
Probably not. No, definitely not.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they
Probably
be the ones
gonna
behind all
beat the
this?
final boss, think
The
it's
same
all
ones
done,
who
and then
put those
Volron
soldiers
appears
in
and we have to
Faria
fight
in
him again.
trance?
What, those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renaissance. Damn it, that's the second time now.
So off to Renna we
Whatever's
go,
stolen
huh?
from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now, those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Renna.
Did you say Renna?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah.
Road trip.
Good chance it's not
Shotgun.
human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renaissance in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But
Okay.
seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renans or Danans.
Yeah.
I'll be in the back
Way up
passing
with
out the
us.
snacks. That's also an important role. Snack management is key on a road trip. Am I allowed to just... I'm not.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know, they're not actually human at all.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danon. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
Probably
So
not.
what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the
Googles.
most terrifying thing anyone said all
Or
day.
humans.
How about you, Shion? Dohalim? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Renna. And Shion's thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renaissance too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
Yes. So how do we get there then? Do we just board our ship again and fuck off to Renna? Because that's the only thing I could think of right now. And I don't think that's probably too far off of what we're going to do. So... yeah. It's a little annoying, maintenance passageway, civilian parks, okay. That we have to walk all the way back. It's probably just because they need to put some skits in here, so we can get some additional information about everything. Which, I don't know if I'm in the mood for. Why? So, what do you think is gonna wait for us on Renna? Do you think it's gonna be like an entire different... Well, let's just say I doubt that it's gonna be in an entire zone, you know? That... oh no. An entire zone that has like quests and side quests or whatever. I think it's just gonna be... if even a dungeon, maybe just like one small area to just, you know, see what Rena looks like. And then immediate fights, boss things, I don't know. Oh hi, unexpected fight, yeah. I didn't think that they would just still be stationed here randomly. But I guess they are. How?
I'm all stuffed up.
Blow them away!
Okay.
Step back. This one's all law.
Oh, that's such a long walk. Oh, okay. Well, let's try to walk past that. Because I don't see the point in fighting these just now. The music is nice though.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The
No.
lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone?
Expertly avoided. That is what I do.
Doe?
Dodge master.
You two.
Oh,
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Doe. She called me
Avakir
Doe.
filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once.
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegis is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration still a way off.
This doesn't sound like a thing
You're
we
an
have
elite
time for right
technician,
now.
You can fix it, right?
I mean, don't trying to be
then
rude.
What's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking
we
out
have a
before we can
Sovereign
get things
with
back up and
us.
running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's
Well-
that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
But how?
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
How do I have the
Riots
time to
feed on
stop
discontent and
riots
unrest,
now?
Right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
Just
At
casually
ease.
put people's
Like
minds
by
at
letting
ease.
them hear directly from someone they trust.
How about the Sovereign?
That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Imagine if we had one of
The closest thing to an
those.
authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then.
Well,
Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
I mean, what? What?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldamen and Sia.
Look up there, it's Lord Dohalim.
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown.
Zoom call. Bring.
I hope you'll allow me
He just came in.
to rest.
Do you reckon he has pants on?
The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction.
Probably, right?
However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep
No, make it from the nips down. That's how you do it.
Not the lords and sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Well spoken, though, Halim. Very well spoken. And there the light goes. Thanks.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos
That
after all.
blinded completely.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie.
Except for the Sovereign we have with us.
But falsehoods.
That's literally right next to you.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
Pew, pew, pew.
You? You can't be serious.
Why not?
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return.
Please.
But not as
Please
your
do.
sovereign. Nor as a leader, the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I don't.
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
Oof.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different.
For fuck's sake.
I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Turnigan's death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
Nice.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Probably not.
Indeed.
Well, he's just gonna
The people of Elda Menancia
What is it?
can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on
we have a
Lenegis who
great
need someone to guide
word
them.
in German. Like
Besides, with you leading the people here,
go back
it'll
and
help
forth, I
spread
guess.
the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted?
No.
From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits.
Yes, please. I was not expecting a detour like that. Oh, is that for us? Max AG, I love that. For us. Ground Dasher, let's fucking go. Defense? Well, we gotta do Ground Dasher, am I right?
Looks like the people of Lennox.
Arts. Now that's an art I can get behind.
Guess can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share.
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
Probably have.
A Renan Lord. How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment. A lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life, but I didn't know what else I could do about it either. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master. That's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say.
How is it still smelling like Chinese noodles, like these instant noodles?
He also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling.
Is it on me?
If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why?
It is not.
That's the road of freedom. Or, to put it another
I remember
way,
when you were allowed to run around in this
his heart is compromised,
I remember
the
too.
loftiest of kings
Remember
is no
when I had
freer
quests
than
and
a slave.
stuff?
I think I finally understand.
Moik smells of nudes.
This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
Yes.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
Yeah. He'd be proud.
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me. You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Why ask me now? What does it matter? But yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more ashamed.
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. You're forging ahead. That's what matters. If my brother could see you, he'd be proud.
Everybody would be proud. I would be very proud if we were able to continue playing the video game.
Well then, just as well it's not a competition, huh?
Kisara? Anyone at home in there?
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Among other things. To be entirely honest, I couldn't tell whether you were smiling or frowning.
You were thinking about Dohalim, weren't you?
That obvious, huh? I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward at last. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now, he's finally beginning to spread his wings. I'm happy for him.
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and strange, knowing that he won't be needing me anymore.
Well, he's probably not gonna leave her be, right? He's probably gonna be like,
massive worry off my
come
mind.
with me.
I should be jumping up and down for joy, right?
Because obviously she's kind of into him,
that
right?
maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right.
I don't know.
You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and nervous flight from the nest.
How old is Dohalim?
A pretty big child.
That's one way to look at it.
I thought he'd be like,
Dohalim's face if he heard you say that.
I don't know,
All this is
28,
making me realize
25,
I can't allow
at least.
myself to become a prisoner of my own making like he was. If Dohalim can forge his own path ahead, then I can too. I won't be left behind.
How do we go? Okay, it's just, there is just one way. I'm actually pretty curious to see what's going on Renna. For some reason I suspect there could even be no Renna at all, you know? Maybe it's just like one entity that does all of it, or what if it's just like randomly a computer program or whatever. Imagine that. Because what could there be, you know? The only thing that we have as a suspicion right now is the Red Woman, and we don't even know anything about her. We don't know if she's even real, if she's like one person, if she's multiple people, if any, you know, could be anything. Oh hi. I think she's a locust. She might. I mean, the city's still fucked a bit, but I guess it could be worse, seeing as though most buildings are still standing. So, is that ours? Oh. Falnites. Falnites? How was it pronounced? Falnites. Falnites? 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 Dürfen?
I thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
Yeah.
You can say that again.
I think this is the entire game, realistically.
Too, like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Renna.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renaissance. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
Yes. We are.
So, what do we do first when we get there?
Fuck things
we know
up.
Nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is an attack.
If we come across a capital, we should... What?
Oh. She says stop. I don't want this. So, are they drawing the energy out of our thing, or are they carrying us away? Oh, okay. Well, they just... I assume they did not just obliterate us. I assume they took us somewhere. Because otherwise that would be a very sudden end. Oh. Oh, it's awfully bright.
Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
Okay.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone,
Roll credits.
look there!
If that's a big red woman, I'm gonna... Oh. I'm not sure what's happening. Oh. Sure.
A flower blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
So we're just a pot.
And it appears Lenegis is serving
Or
as a
vase.
conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
Oh, probably not.
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
So is this just like a sort of hive mind type situation with similar to the Reapers in Mass Effect? Or what is, because it's
happening. We need to get back to Lenegis.
it's clearly a rose,
ship
right?
still
So maybe thorns, maybe that's
Unfortunately,
like the
yes.
thematic
Even more
connection
so
there,
than when it lay
that we
dormant.
have to put the thorns onto the rose or whatever. I don't know.
Starships are
Just waffling,
extremely
yeah.
complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around? For how long?
I don't believe
Oh, that beeping.
this. We've made it all this way, and now we're stuck here? We're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit here and starve to death?
Law, calm down. You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
Maybe they want us there. Maybe they're like, fuck it. Let's just pull him in. Can someone please take the battery out of that smoke alarm? Yeah. It is annoying. So, now what?
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
Don't tell me we're back
It
on
looks like
Lenegis.
Lenegis in here.
No.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
She is not wrong with that statement. She's not wrong.
Ah, Shion, just in the nick of time. Here, lend me a hand while I...
No!
Zap.
What the... Oh, right. The thorns. My bad.
No,
Did he...
I'm the one who should apologize.
How did you forget?
Again, Law? Can't you even go a minute without putting your foot in your mouth?
Seriously, it's fine. I'd rather that than people feeling like they're walking on eggshells around me. Besides, I'm the one who should be vigilant about not touching you guys, not the other way around.
Actually, I've been meaning to ask.
Meh.
Not being able to touch people. Does it ever get lonely sometimes?
Isn't that her entire deal?
I guess I never really thought about it in those terms.
Didn't
It
she
was
not
either
say that?
accept it for what it was, or come undone.
The entire game is about her
Before
spiky
long,
bits.
it was just
He's
part of my
stupid.
everyday
Yeah, he
reality.
really is.
I think I even forgot there was another way to live. Which isn't to say I didn't feel alone. I did. Always.
So numb to your reality, you couldn't even recognize it as loneliness?
Oh,
I don't know how you managed.
It's fine. I know I'm not alone anymore.
But I can't even touch you. No way of lending you a shoulder when you're down? Even Alphen.
I appreciate the concern. Until I get rid of these thorns, I guess I'll have to put up with it just a little longer. But not forever. Alphen
He
promised
did.
me that.
He did do that.
Maybe it'll be soon, maybe it won't be. But either way, the day will come.
Well, at least she's
And I'll be ready when
positive
it does.
about it. At least she's not
Yeah,
bitching and whining
just
about
hang
it
in
anymore.
there. One
Which
day,
I like.
we'll share a big warm hug. You'll see.
That's
I
3
promise.
eyes. Okay.
Boo!
Meh.
What the? Are you out of your mind? This isn't the time for games, Rinwell.
Is everybody
on.
messing with him?
How am I supposed to resist with you looking all jittery like that?
It's called experiencing feelings appropriate to the situation. You ought to try it sometime.
Yeah, but seeing you act all nervous, you're making me start to feel nervous too.
Oh.
Sorry.
Staying alert is important, but too much caution can cloud your judgment. Try to strike a balance.
Ah. Oh, poor Ute. There's an elevator. Oh.
I still can't get over what we saw happening outside the starship.
Yeah, our planet's really not doing too hot right about now.
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round planet like ours. Still though, I never would have imagined Rena actually looked like that. And what's the deal with that giant flower coming out of it?
Beats me. I have absolutely no clue.
Yeah.
It's so surreal. It looks like
Yeah.
a broken egg or something.
Rena and Dana. We were taught that both worlds were spherical bodies.
You got
that
exactly
floated
2
amongst the
steps.
stars
I
in the
did.
heavens. But to think that they lied to us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown contest, but also the form of our own planet.
Dohalim.
Ugh.
Okay. That beam of light joining Dana and Rena. It was the Renan side that it first came from, right?
That's what it looked like. And then the Danon side responded.
Perhaps it was some kind of directive from the Renan homeworld? To reawaken the Wedge and Lenegis?
Which would mean that whoever's behind all this is on Rena after all. But what are they after? Is it really worth going through all this trouble just to steal Dana's energy?
Try to stay calm. With so many factors,
You know,
we
there's
don't
I mean,
understand, dwelling on
love
it
the
won't
game,
get us
right?
anywhere.
Great game. But there's
What is
definitely some spots where
No, it's
there's a
just-
little too much of that for
Several
me
once told me
personally.
the same thing. So much for me making progress, huh?
You made it this far, didn't you? You notice something, you change it. That's all anyone can do.
I mean, I
But
get
you can't stand still
why
in the
it's
meantime.
there, and it's completely optional, right? You can just not activate them, most of them. But it's like, do you really want to miss out on that? And it's technically just there to wait. I guess lower level. No. Central level, sure. I mean, we're gonna try to go to the upper level, right? Okay. But I don't know. It's at some points it's a lot of talking, and which I don't know. I feel like, oh, that reminds me so much of another Tales game. Holy shit! Oh my, this looks exactly the same. I'm not gonna spoil the thing for the people who haven't played a 15, 20-year-old game. 15 probably.
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
But this one looks almost exactly... Wait. Don't tell me they're trying to revive a dude.
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
If the entire plot is now they wanted
like it can move.
They wanted to revive a dude, I have an issue. Then I have an issue.
Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
Well, is he just the mind of everything?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk. What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Okay. So it is a computer.
Hevrect 35.
Or
Is
less.
that your name?
Correct.
Yeah, hi,
What
Hev.
is this place? No, wait, before that. Just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
Well, things
We
happened
did not
and...
come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
Ah. Are we gonna get uploaded
What
to
did
the
you do
cloud
to
now?
us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way.
Oh.
Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
So he's the only good
Oh,
one
goody. More riddles.
of the
Do you
bunch?
think we can trust this thing?
Maybe he's the only
Like it or
one that
not,
escaped the
Maybe
grasp
our
of
best
the
chance at a ticket out of here.
loops.
Let's at least hear it out.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquil.
Okay, sure.
The red women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Okay.
Helganquil?
You are on Dake Phasol, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's great spirit
Okay.
no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this great spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice?
So it is just like a
Just like
sentient
Dana.
energy
The
thing,
voice of the
hive
Great
mind
Spirit speaks to our hearts directly.
type
We
situation.
have served it without
Locusts,
question
yeah.
throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this great spirit be the true sovereign of Rena?
Yes.
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegus. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Yeah, true.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
But you don't know that.
But
Let's assume that what Hevrek 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both
F.
planets.
The
Even
Fs,
if we had
though.
previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's Great Spirit. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents.
Okay.
So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegus are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy. And the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed. And it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest.
But
Had the
doesn't he
initial
look
spirit
like
channeling
some...
from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
like some of the knights we faced? Maybe they are
But the ceremony
molded
failed.
after them?
Lenegus was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasalma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrek 35?
I thought he didn't.
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
Boom.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your master?
I did. It is in your best interest that you do so, I might add.
Nice.
What makes you say that?
Lenegus has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit,
En masse.
it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize.
Nice, he's a scientist.
As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
Didn't he say that he tried to preserve his life as
At
much
this
as possible?
stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Yes.
Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Phasal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.
Dun, dun, dun. So do we have to go back and explore all the other places again to find the red Whammon? It seems to manage have wrecked 31st condition. Lots of vital sign stats are displayed. Okay. Totally sounds like he's saying dick phaser.
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right? I mean, it's practically blackmailing us into doing its dirty work.
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it. How about you, Dohalim? Were you able to follow it at all?
At the very least, everything it said about the Renan Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole chain of events comes back to astral energy.
Same, Kisara.
That being said, had we not previously encountered the will of Dana, I suspect I would find its story much more difficult to believe.
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana completely destroyed.
But why? Astral energy is supposed to be a force that creates and shapes the world.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if we're up against an entire world or what its game is. We're not going to let it destroy Dana.
Right.
There is one other thing that concerns me. How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough. But what about the Renans? How do they factor into all this?
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevrek 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the Helganquil, we never did find out just what they are either.
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Or perhaps there's even more going on. Maybe the others will shed
Maybe
more
the
light on that.
Helganquils are Renans?
Let's find out.
In some form? I don't know. Maybe they are like mutated, enlightened Renans? I don't know. Upper level. Nice. Find the others. But I thought he's the only one on here. So, what even are we looking for? That would make a good screensaver. Huh. Okay. So there's destruction happening over there. But there's nothing for us to do in here, is there? Okay. Are the others just plants? They might be, you know? Ah, shit. Lower level. Okay. Okay. Okay, so there's a room back there. I mean, that's a plan. It measures astral energy fluctuations in Dana and Rena. Okay. Wait. Don't tell me they're all in here. That'd be too easy, would it? Or wouldn't it? Okay.
Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
You ask away, Alphen.
What a weird guy.
He
Why
must
is
have
it that
meant
weird?
Hevrek 35 when he mentioned that Overseer.
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Rena, do you?
Well, what else would he be
There
talking
isn't
about?
anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
In your own time, love. Okay, hi.
Have you guys lived up here in Dag Fazel with Hevrek 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
How do they eat?
Why are you all even here in the first place?
Or are they eating the
Originally,
plants, maybe?
The station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegis from the outside.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been
Just
working for
looked
Hevrek
where that
35 ever
noodle
since?
smell was coming from. Not from my pop filter, though.
At first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all
What
along.
did you just do?
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to cloak themselves around us Renans. As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an astral art of some sort?
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use is primarily achieved through mechanical means. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict.
Yeah,
I
I guess
also
if you're
imagine that's
invisible
how
and just
Lenegis is
hypnotizing
still
people.
run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renans affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renans.
Like the hypnosis
You
or
act
whatever.
like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrek 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegis? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold instead. Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Yeah. I guess I would be.
Thank you for answering our questions.
Yes. Let me speak to the next person. Hello.
Do you know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what its main objective was?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it to Rena.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral energy without it becoming sentient. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy so it would be compatible with Rena.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and then the Sovereign and Maiden to convert the energy.
We have a winner. However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied.
We did do that.
The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans in Helganquil that day.
Oh. Oops.
For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renis Alma, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contest began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps.
Sure.
A new Sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana.
Oof, okay.
As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Hevrecht 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes. And yet here we are.
He's so excited. He's so
talking
genuinely
now?
hyped
If it's all
for
the
it.
same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
Yes, that's okay, my guy. You've lived your life for this, I
He talks
expect.
like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
Yeah.
Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean the Overseer species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they
Well,
come from?
great. Great.
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
There are no
Of
Renans
course
on Rena.
not. There's really no such thing as Renans in the first place.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
Okay.
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
I mean...
There aren't. But there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language. People of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction, yes? In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Well, what does he mean by
That
created?
explains why almost nobody can use astral arts on Dana now.
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries. They have these tiny machines that are practically
Why is he
invisible,
displayed
which they
so
insert into
psycho?
their
Like so
bodies
psycho.
Enough. You needn't tell us anymore.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
I guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it. Anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renans.
Did my sword not have a hilt
Personally, I
right
don't
now?
think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I see. Thanks for filling us in.
Okay.
Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never truly existed? How absurd.
I mean, is it?
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
And let's hope this is our last revelation for a while.
It probably
feels
won't
like our whole world has
be
been turned
if he
upside down.
says it like
Is
this.
there anything we know that's still true at this point?
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign and Maiden stuff.
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves. I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in, but...
Random question. Can the PS5 play PS3 games?
Does everyone agree?
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never expected it to all boil down to Rena's great spirit being behind everything.
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral energy.
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helganquil. Then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade
No idea, I haven't tried. I should. Okay.
Plus,
you should and report back to me at some
The reason the Great
point.
Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. We should probably take it easy and rest our minds a bit. Why don't we all take some time to think things over before we decide on our next move?
I have a shitload of PS3 games I'd love to play again. Yeah, I don't. I think I have one PS3 game, maybe. I don't know.
We've got a really big
I've sold my PS3 back then, and then I bought one back for collection's sake, and I don't really have games, unfortunately.
We need to be completely sure of ourselves. So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger, so we should be okay. You sure you don't want to be alone right now?
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking up on everybody.
I'll go along with you. I'm interested to hear what's on everyone's
Sad times,
too.
yeah. Really is.
Sounds good. Let's go find them.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up everything we thought we knew. It was all just a fabrication that the Red Women, that the Helganquil made up.
Right. Assuming we can believe anything that Hevrek 35 has told us, that is.
Well, if the names are anything to go by, it's possible the Helganquil could be behind the fruits of Helgen too.
But if Hevrek 35 was telling the truth, and this was all just one massive lie, does that mean everything we've done up until now has been pointless?
Kind of.
I don't think so.
No?
Or
Okay.
at least I hope not. I think it just means we've lost our foothold for now. That's all.
Really? Well then, if we've lost it, I guess we'll just have to find another. All of us together. And if we can't find one, then we'll make a new one. End of story.
Yes. Please let it be the end of story soon.
I see. Right then. Count me in.
Hey. Oh. Wait. Those are new. Is that the dude we have to heal? Oh, for fuck's sake. It's just randomly a guy here. Oh, nice. Well, would you look at that? Okay, so they are all here.
Oh, it's you two. Does he seem like he's doing any better now?
Who's he?
Who?
Oh.
Oh, you mean Dohalim, don't you?
I know that we're all struggling to wrap our minds around it all, but he looked like he was taking it really hard earlier.
What do you think about everything we've learned? About
I
the
just got
Renans,
good news.
Great Spirit and all that?
On
I
some
just got
level,
very good news.
I'm not even really sure what to think, to be honest. I mean,
And
the
I need
Great
to
Spirit
look
is
for
like
a
huge natural
fitting
disaster,
emoji
but with a mind and will of its own. But if that thing's
to show
hell-bent
my
on trying to
happiness.
destroy our planet, then the only thing left for us to do is stop it. As for the
Oh,
Renans,
my old graphics card just got
I suppose my
sold.
feelings on that are a bit more mixed.
How so?
Coexistence between Danans and Renans in Menancia is still a work in
Nice.
progress. In my case, I think that's partly
Big step
because
to the
deep down,
PS5 I'm trying to
I was
afford.
still on guard around Renans. So, to be told that they're like us, that they're actually just like us is, well,
Soon.
I
Yes,
guess it's
I
a
hope
little
so.
deflating, to be honest.
You kept a pretty level head.
You mean about the Renans? At the end of the day, The Helganquil and the Great Spirit are the ones who are responsible. But at the same time, I realize that not every Danon is necessarily going to believe that either.
I know you're already aware of this.
100 bits.
The list of grievances the
Much
Danons
love to
have
you.
against the Renans is long, and
Take my
understandably so.
contribution.
And if people then
Thank
find out
you.
that they're all actually one and the same, yeah, I don't think they're going to take to it too kindly.
Even just among the Danons, I'm sure there'll be some who emerge with power and some who won't. I think if we can find a way to get rid of that imbalance, then we'll be in a truly good place.
Well, first we can try to figure out what to do about the existing conflicts we have.
Yeah. It'd be nice if one day people could learn to get past their hatred like Rinwell did.
Yeah.
It's no small task. We can't pretend like the past didn't happen and ask people to forget their very real pain and suffering.
Right. Everybody has their reasons for feeling the way that they do. But if we just keep yelling at each other about it, we'll never move on. In a worst-case scenario, it might lead to even more people getting killed.
And we all have to figure out how to meet halfway. Not just that, but to also embrace each other's pain, in a sense.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
It's true. Everybody has their own scars, their own trauma.
This talk has been going on for time.
Is to put aside that hatred.
I have to do 3 more of those.
But I think it's a good first step, if nothing else. And now, I think I see a way to move forward. But to do that, first we need to make sure our planet isn't going to get wiped out.
Many time. Oh. Hello. Ah, shit. I wanted to talk to her from the front.
You both seem awfully calm.
Oh, no.
Only because after everything we've seen, we don't have the energy to keep being shocked.
How are you holding up, Rinwell? That whole talk about the Renans looked like it shook you up a bit.
Yeah. I get this sinking feeling whenever I remember how Danon mages like my family were persecuted and died out. And now, I finally know why that is.
I mean, she was supposed to be a Renan.
I was thinking, if Renans end up living together with Danons again, then mages won't be such an unusual thing to see on Dana anymore, right?
Yes.
I know it's not as simple as all that, but
also assuming they can
probably
breed.
Won't be so quick to let their guards down.
I mean, Renans and
Danons
Danons together.
Who still act superior because of their arts.
It wouldn't surprise me. 300 years of bad blood and prejudice isn't going to be an easy thing to overcome.
Yeah. I know firsthand just how much hatred can take hold in your heart once you let it in. But even so, I was still able to change. And if I can change, so can anyone else. So I was thinking maybe, I don't know, I could use my position as both a Danon and a mage to help bring both sides together.
Rinwell.
That great spirit worries me too, though. Dana's will feels so warm and inviting. So why is Rena's will trying to destroy our entire planet?
Now that you mention it, Everett 35 and the other scientists here never really brought that up. Maybe they don't know either.
I mean,
maybe.
What is that question? I think you will never have an answer to that because some organisms just
no way we can let it be destroyed.
feed off of
we won't.
Eating other shit, you know?
No matter what.
So if there's an entity out there that also just has the instincts to survive and it does by, you know, sucking up planet juice, then how are you gonna explain instinct and survival and stuff? That, I mean,
you're not the
right?
only one still trying to make
How are
sense of all
viruses
this.
a thing?
Believe me.
You know, why do
Really?
viruses want to
You've
destroy
never
things?
struck me as the
Or
type of guy to
parasites?
get hung up on these
Isn't that the
sorts of
same
things.
kind of questions?
Did you forget what happened back in Thistle?
Sucking up planet juice.
Once my memory
Yeah, I
started coming
mean,
back to me, I felt
isn't a
completely,
parasite
totally
the
lost.
exact same thing,
It was
you know?
really that bad for you?
Yeah, it was. But thanks to Law and everybody else, I
And who
remembered that I
questions
still had
that?
things out
Who's
there
like,
worth
oh, why
fighting
are they
for.
so terrible? Why do they want to hurt
Man,
so many
I think
individuals?
you might be a better guy than
The,
me,
the virus
Alfred.
doesn't give a fuck.
All
Or
I
the
can remember
parasite.
thinking was,
Right?
when's this guy
It's just
gonna get his
doing
act
its survival
together?
thing. Innit?
Law.
I
So,
was too worried about repeating the same mistakes I'd made back with my dad and running away from the truth. That was no way to live. And I've tried to stay strong, my way. But all this talk about other
It is,
races and the world ending, if I can be honest with you guys, it's just all too much for me to handle right now.
I know this is going to sound strange coming from me, but maybe the key is not to worry too much about the big stuff right now.
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns, for obvious reasons, but I never really opened up to anyone about them. And when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger than me, I didn't know what I should do or who to tell. But that's when I finally got it. You guys were all there for me, to teach me what's really important. I just had to open up and listen.
In other words, if you let the big picture stuff get you all muddled up inside, you'll begin to lose sight of what you really care about. Yeah, I think you're right.
The thing that's most important, what I really care about. All I want to do is protect the people that really matter to me, to fight for them. That's good enough, right?
Not everyone is strong enough to fight.
Huh?
It's something your dad told me once when he was still alive. Law, you know you're strong enough to fight, and you're strong enough to protect the people you care about. Forget all the big stuff going on. Just don't lose sight of what you want to protect in the first place. Sound good?
Yeah, I think it does. It's like a big weight's been lifted off my shoulders. I'll fight to protect the people around me. Just like I always have. I think that
looks like a little bit like a stump if I just hold it like this. Well. You know, it feels like we are in the home stretch now. Like we're basically getting ready to do the final act.
It's shocking to have so many things
the final thing to do for the last 2 hours.
Even I'm still not sure everything we've heard is actually true.
Let's not delude ourselves. If what we've heard is a lie, it's a rather elaborate one. I can only imagine that you must have been constantly feeling like this, ever since your memory returned, Alphen. And you as well, Shion. About your thorns, and being a maiden.
That's just part of
it's a little back heavy, isn't it? I feel like the entire game was pretty lightweight and easily digestible. But then the last 15%, I feel like they crammed most of the lore and most of the story and explanations and stuff just into the end to have it basically all be a big reveal. Which is
state that Rena may be in.
It's not a bad thing, you know. But I feel like maybe they could have
where it is that we wish to return to.
You know,
so, I guess
what do you say? Like split it up into nicer, smaller chunks, and have them have smaller revelations throughout the history, and then just reference those in the later revelations. You know, just like remind us of those really quick.
Embrace Renans with open arms. If the issue is forced, things
because for me, in my opinion, this feels like now very stretched out.
Centuries worth of hatred to overcome between us.
Even if it isn't, you know, even if if you would stretch it over the entire game, it wouldn't be. But because it's now all condensed into this one part of the game, it feels as if it is kind of, you know, kind of bloated, the whole thing, the story thing. Maybe I'm just hating. I mean, I'm not. I fucking love the game, but, you know.
But things can still change if you have the right people to help lead the way. Isn't that what you hope to achieve on Lenegis after this is all over?
Indeed. I have fully accepted the burden of that responsibility. In that regard, I remain determined. On that note, I have something of a favor to ask of you, Alphen.
Oh? What is it?
I wish for you to serve as a mediator so that the Renans can live on Dana peaceably. As the one and only blazing sword, I suspect the Danans may listen to what you have to say when problems arise.
It's not a bad shout.
You'll be the one to represent
that is not a bad shout.
Yes. I realize that I'm asking quite a lot of you. However, the fact of the matter is that it will take time for Renans to re-enter Danan society without any bloodshed. That is why.
Yeah.
You're the same as ever, Dohalim.
Is it too much?
No, relax. You get so tense and formal when you're asking for a favor. Listen, there's no need for that. We're friends.
Give him a fist bump. Give him a fist bump.
You're too kind. I can see you were raised well.
That's some high praise, Alphen.
I mean, I was made in a lab,
I'll
basically.
ask once again, this time just as friends. Alphen, will you help me?
You don't even need to ask. Of course I will.
Nice.
Thank you, my friend.
Oh, look at it. So now that we're done talking, let's do some talking.
Everyone's learning from their past and using it to create a better future for everyone.
What about you, Shion? How do you feel about the origin of the Renans?
She probably doesn't give a fuck.
I'm not really all that shocked, actually. I mean, I might be a Renan in the literal sense, but I've never really felt like one of them. Right now, it's kind of a mystery.
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, all I ever thought about was how I was going to die. Not if or when, but how. I thought I'd die alone. That fate had me in its steely grip. I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling with someone like you, fighting to save Rena and Dana. I mean, how could I have? It's been going on for 300 years. All this tragedy and destruction. When you consider the Helganquil's part in all this, it's been even longer than that. It was Naori's hope that somehow, someone in the future would be able to stop it before it was too late. How it fell on us, of all people, to heed that call is a mystery.
I don't think Naori was hoping that we would just stop the world from getting destroyed. She considered me, a Danan, as a real person. And she very much cherished her own people, too. I don't think she wanted the world to be saved just so they could go back to hurting each other. Oh, maybe this is what she meant.
Huh?
When we were talking to Kisara earlier, about all that stuff like everyone's needing to meet halfway and embrace each other's pain and suffering. She said that the first step down that path was for each of us to put aside our own hatred. That means forgiving other people, even and especially before they forgive you.
Forgiving. So it goes both ways, right?
Yes, it does.
Is that what you're saying?
People in reality don't even recognize that, though.
I don't just mean forgiving
can't
things that
expect
happened
much.
in the past either. Conflicts will keep happening. If we have any hope of moving on and building a better future, we have to all learn to forgive each other.
You know, you're right. People can hurt one another without even meaning to. I know that better than most, thanks to these thorns.
It's not going to be easy getting past this pain. But if we can do it, I'm sure there'll come a time when we can all truly understand each other. I'm there with you, Shion. I too want to protect the world we live in, and all the people we care about. I think that's the very least I can do to repay Naori for everything that she did.
Yeah. I want a future that she would feel proud to live in, and I'm going to fight for it.
Whoa there, Savior Girl. We're here to save you too, you know.
Yes, I know. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I want to live, and that's the honest truth.
Okay. Well, is everybody ready to do what needs to be done?
Yes, I've been ready.
There's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day,
Since day
Dana's
fucking
still in
one.
danger. I don't care who we're up against.
Take a sip
We'll
of water.
kick their ass.
What are your thoughts,
Ah,
Alvin?
the good water,
I want to
Saskia.
know what's on your mind, too.
Like Law said, if we have to fight the Great Spirit on Rena, then so be it. It's trying to rob us of our entire world. And it's going to take not just our home, but all of existence along with it. That alone is enough to make it our enemy. But it's not only that. One way or another, I think beating the
I
Great
have ran
Spirit
out of
is going
fluids
to
to
be tied
drink.
us saving
Can't
Shion.
you drink tap water in the England
You're
land?
saying there's a chance?
That is so foreign to me anyway. To not be able to drink tap water. I cannot imagine a life like this.
The astral energy that appeared at the spirit channel
I know this is probably very privileged talking, but
and to hear Shion tell it, it's the same.
But I don't want to go get more in case I miss an important thing. We can drink tap water. It is very sanitary. Nice, okay. Here too. Where I live too.
Only to Rena. And if Rena's great spirit is what's behind Dana's pending destruction, then...
Shion's thorns are the great spirit? It's not actually on Rena like we thought?
We don't know anything for certain. At the very least, though, I think it's possible her thorns are a part of the great spirit.
While the main body resides in Rena.
So it's like a spleen.
Shion.
An appendix or whatever. But I'm upstairs and I don't want to drink tap water out of the bathroom.
Really are a part
Why?
Of Rena's
is that a different
spirit.
Water?
I'm going to go over there and give it a piece of my mind and then some.
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous, large enough to house the will of an entire planet.
In case
the Wedge and Lennigus were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right.
Well,
this is an altogether greater challenge for merely
I don't think that's an issue. Unless you're licking the inside of a toilet,
we only
maybe.
know about the Thorns connection,
which I hope you don't. I mean, then in that case, you shouldn't use your toothbrush because that's in the bathroom as well, and probably would have poop particles on it.
Whole time.
Right?
It wouldn't ask us to
or
fight
mouthwash or whatever you have in the bathroom.
Sort. Let's go see what that is.
Good stuff. Nice.
Our minds are made.
Do I get? Okay, I am still Harlem.
So if the Sovereign and Maiden were originally boot-up programs for Lennigus, what about now?
Even with the Forbidden Zone in ruins and the Renaissance stolen, Lennigus is functioning fine. If it needed us before, it doesn't appear to now.
First they lumber you with a position you never asked for,
I'm not gonna say
then
anything.
you're discarded like you're nothing? Who the hell do they think they are?
More importantly, who do they think we are? We might not even factor into their list of concerns.
I just hope everyone on Lennigus is safe.
Worst comes to worst, Lennigus is equipped with a large number of starships the people can escape in. As long as the whole
Because of being a
satellite doesn't suddenly
microbiologist.
explode
I think
or something,
every job
they
has
should be
something like
fine.
that, though.
Wait, explode?
In any case, if we're truly going to make a difference, it's on Rena we're needed, not Lennigus. The people there will be fine. I'm sure of it.
Yes. Talk to Nerf 35. Okay, so he is gonna repair our ship now, and then we just fuck off to Rena and do the deed, I guess. I hope that's how it's gonna be, because I'm ready.
Do you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the great spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience, and return to being ordinary astral energy.
That's gonna be, it's gonna be raining some heavy energy that day.
By using the Renus Alma.
How do we do that?
You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden.
We have those?
They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renus Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the Thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, Your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
Invariably,
This method
he didn't
is
say.
the most simple one available to destroy the great spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die, that we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her. We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end.
I also think it is incredibly selfish to just choose one life over
fewest losses in preserving your world. Abandoning
right?
it is irrational.
Maybe.
It is vital that you proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the Great Astral Spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the Great Spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
Okay.
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Renis Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns can be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It is true that the
He's running the
Alma is
calculations. Give
capable
him a
of what
second.
you suggest, and could contain the Great Astral Spirit.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony. Considering that the Renis Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed, I cannot allow it. Its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Well...
Why you?
Fine then. I'd rather stay here and rot than do it your way.
Alphen?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either way, then
Well,
I'd
we
rather
do
nothing.
save a couple of planets and that.
We want to stop Dana from getting destroyed.
I don't know.
We want to save it. But not if it means having to sacrifice one of us in the process. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alphen.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my species' greatest achievement.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what
He's
are we
gonna be
supposed
mighty
to do
happy.
about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegis.
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse.
I mean, did we expect anything else? It looks like a fucking
the energy
half,
will disperse, and the Great Spirit will
4/5
not reform.
eating apple.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit
fifths.
without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
Man, I wish
No
that
way.
thing would tell it to us straight for once.
Have Rec 35 and the others
Excuse
have gotten
me?
used to hypothesizing from afar is all. Fix our starship. We're going to Rena.
Pew pew.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves, to protect what matters to us. We're not doing it for your sake, or because you told us to. Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's finished.
I mean, how long? Oh, the truth. I just got the achievement.
35 to talk like.
Yes.
Is the Renis Alma really our only hope against the Great Spirit?
Imagine that
Be
we
another way, right?
already had it.
Shion's Fire Master Core
We did already
was able
have
to
it.
suppress astral energy to prevent
We
it
did
from
already
gaining
had it. We did
sentience,
already have
right?
it.
Couldn't we make
And then
use
it
of
got
that somehow?
yoinked.
I'm not sure. In small doses, maybe. But with the amount of energy we're talking about here.
Back in Calaglia, the Blazing Sword was able to take in a whole spirit vessel's worth of energy. If it has the capacity to manage that...
There can't be
it
much
can
left
do
now. No,
this,
I
right?
don't think so either.
Except after it absorbed the energy, it ended up
Unless
releasing it all
the whole
moments
thing
later.
on Rena
Remember?
is
Let's
gonna
not
be
forget, it nearly killed
like
you.
a massive
Besides,
dungeon,
this is
but
the
I
Great Spirit
don't
we're
think it
talking
will
about,
because it doesn't
not a
look like there's
paltry
any
vessel.
like structures
Even if I
on
could
there
use the
or
Master
constructs or
Core,
whatever.
your body
It
wouldn't
looks
be
like we're
able
just
to
gonna
take the
land
strain of
at the
channeling
core
that
and
much
then
energy.
do the shloop shloop
Everett
shloop.
35 didn't mention it, and it did not seem the type to skimp on details. So assuming it's even possible, the chances are slim to none.
You're probably right.
Okay then. Yeah. Oh, is she gonna escort us to the harbor or whatever? Take some time to completely repair your starship so you'll get some rest in the interim. Rest, sure.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renans really come from?
Yes.
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
But you still intend to confront this truth head on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead.
He did
Even
say
as
that.
I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. I hated them just for being Renan. But you changed that, Dohalim.
No.
You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside.
Now they're gonna like
But we knew that not all of you were like that.
become a couple now
There were those of
or
you
whatever.
who were good. And that was a start.
Or is she really just like the mom
When it comes down
type
to it, Renans are just people. They
to
can be
him?
good or bad, just like Danans.
Because I don't get that
is,
vibe,
in
really.
essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to
Yeah,
them
they're not
one-on-one,
paying.
then
It's-
you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Danans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
I mean, of course not.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more? That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegis proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you, Doe.
Did you just... Never mind. Thank you, Kisara.
In her
I
house,
appreciate your patience as
definitely
I
in her
work all
house.
this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before.
Ooh la.
But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Damn. Oh, now they're all getting together. Where's Hootil in this
why'd you call me
relationship?
here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well,
Boinking is
if everything we've
to
heard about the
happen.
Great
Yeah.
Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle. So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
She's
I
gonna
was being
smooch
real
him.
stupid before. About whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you
Yeah,
can
first
sense it a
glass
lot
has
more
always
than
been
the rest of
white.
us?
The
Because
frame.
you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it.
Oh,
but I
his
think
glasses.
I also want to believe
No.
it's good.
Believe?
That was odd.
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a
I
family
thought they
of
were
mages?
darker. Yeah, same.
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside
I
me.
cannot
It
believe
was
she
the first time
doesn't have the
I
glasses
felt like my
normally.
powers had any meaning. Even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust it, Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Remember what I said about neither planet's great spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
You... what?
I sensed it
I
when we
need to
first
grab a
got
drink.
here.
Be right back. Yes.
It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside each of us? In a
Yes.
way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah, maybe...
Hevrick 35 might know the answer. But, you know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become.
Noise.
So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me.
Ah.
To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dana's will, well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No, what were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember saying anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were thinking?
That's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
He's trying, Rinwell.
Are you sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Shion?
Same as you, still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana? All of that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Yes.
Ages and ages ago.
Kind of looks like the one
Everything
planet
that's
has
happened
blown
since we
out and
first
it's just
met.
like splooshing out
So
at the
many
end.
fights, so much chaos, so many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more. I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be a faceless slave, like as not long dead.
Hey, Alphen, I want you to promise me something.
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renis Alma, there's something I want you to do. Like Hevrick 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Renis Alma back, you'll use the blazing sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
It's true the blazing sword may not have the strength of the Renis Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything that
Listen,
we've...
the Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a
Yeah.
threat to our entire world. Renans and Danans alike. We don't know what's going to happen when we face it, but we need to be prepared for anything. We can't second-guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got.
Back high.
But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared too.
Did they do anything yet? No. Law and Rinwell just kind of
hinted
at liking each other. They flirted a bit. They almost said feelings, and then they laughed and just, you know, were together. She just now said that
I hope you can
she wants him to kill her if they sacrifice her, if they can't do the other way.
Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Xion.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
Sorry.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one
He
would
had
ever
feeling
make
in his
twice.
eyes then.
After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
Don't spoil it, Alphen. Nah, I'm
You
with him.
won't have to worry about that for much
I'm
longer.
with him. Can't take credit for that, can he?
You think so?
I do, because Xion.
Oh no.
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
God damn it. So it ended up being 3 couples in our group. What about the loners? How are we represented? Nah.
Everybody get enough rest?
Yeah,
Ready
let's
for this?
fucking go.
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively
Wait, where's my
straightforward.
shirt? Oh.
We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore
Only.
stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and Rena.
Right. We've come this far. We will save our worlds. That's a promise.
Yes.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Okay, do I go for a toilet
Repairs
break
on your
now?
Starship are complete. Everything is in working
Or
order.
at the very
Is that
end?
you, Hevrek 35? You can see us from where you are?
I
Disgusting. Don't
I
want to
can
hear
see
that ever
anywhere
again.
within the bounds of Dake Faisal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrect 35
Those
a break.
ear feathers would bug
It
the
has
shit out
been
of
stuck
me.
in this
Well,
tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Oh.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us
Loop
here?
break now. Yeah, well, I will wait
It's
until the
possible
cutscene
that
is
the
over.
Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil, after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Ooh.
Wait, should?
You'll need to
Yeah.
be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
We gotta go all the way down just
Please
walking?
don't be
Will all the
a
Helganquil go
complicated
back to normal once we
dungeon.
defeat the Great
Just
Spirit?
a boss fight.
I have a strange
and
feeling
then
we're going to have
that's
to
it.
fight them before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage.
It's going to be one
As such,
big fucking
it
ladder.
would be
Yeah.
illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
Well, he does say that.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Doe.
Hold up. did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
Yeah.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
Obviously, he wanted a factual answer.
The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable.
Yes, it is.
Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
Luck.
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand.
He's going to say very well. He's not gonna say anything.
Time to get back on the Fall Knights.
Okay, we're gonna do a safety save after 11 fucking days of cutscenes. I'm gonna do a quick pee-pee break, yes? Oh, well, that does sound weird in English. I'm gonna do a toilet break. I'll be right back. Hello. I am back. Let us do this. Please. Oh. Whew. Hoi. Let's do the warpy bit.
It's clear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
Yes.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
Yes. Just put me straight into it, please. I hope there's not going to be any shenanigans of the will is too strong and it's infecting us, and then we have to fight our own people to get them back to their senses, and then I hope it's just going to be straightforward. Oh no. That's pretty, yes.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the Hollowing.
Oh.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is
soup
stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
His glasses are dark again.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, It went after Dana.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana.
Why are they all finishing each other's sentences? Why can't they walk in the meantime?
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive.
She looks cold.
It looks like we can climb down from there.
Yes.
Let's take a look.
Yes, I'm ready to take all the looks. I'm ready to do all the things. Destroyed remnants, Rena. Oh.
So this is Rena. This is where everything began. Yet it's
Special
a dead world?
owls seem to have appeared throughout Dana. Oh my god, you cannot be serious. Now I have side missions on Dana.
Ever.
I'm fighting with myself.
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see.
Now,
What do you
yeah.
think would happen if we fell in?
What do you mean, what would happen? You'd drown, wouldn't you?
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've heard of someone ever trying. Perhaps you'd like the glory of being the first?
No, I'll pass.
This is essentially a world-sized Renan graveyard. Are you proposing to disturb the dead slumber just to satisfy your curiosity, Law?
No,
Yes.
because I said I passed.
Taking an interest is understandable, but let's not forget where we are. This place deserves our respect.
Looks like we're not going to be hearing the end of this one for a while.
You'd think I was already snorkeling in it or something. So the idea is to
So what are
seal
we
the
doing
Great
now?
Spirit inside the
Are
Renaissance
we
using the Sovereign and Maiden's power. But just how do we do that exactly?
Just gonna do the finish
I'm guessing
then.
it won't be as
Now.
easy as holding a spirit channeling ceremony at our
It's
leisure.
probably not even gonna be done
I
now.
already had wielded astral energy
Like,
once
it feels
3
like
centuries
I'm
ago.
gonna stop now.
As for
And
suppressing
tomorrow,
the thorns,
we're gonna
Shion's had a lifetime's experience. The problem is
we're gonna do some side questing, and then we're gonna
sentient
finish it.
too.
That's what it feels
You can
like.
bet anything you like. It's not
Oh.
going to just sit back and let us destroy it.
In other words, we need to find some way to weaken
But I
it in
want
advance.
to
The Great
100%
Spirit,
it.
that is.
Back when Shion's thorns
Oh.
flew out of control, we were able to deal with them directly. If this is their host, they should be even more corporeal here.
If that's the case, it should make them easier to attack at least. And if we can manage to divert enough energy away from the spirit's core, even temporarily,
It is
We
frustrating.
might just be able to weaken it enough to steal the Renaissance, which we can then use to seal it away forever. It won't be easy, but it's our only shot. Time to buckle up. Question for you.
I like
Let's
how
say,
they are saying
knock on
we
wood,
don't have time
everything
anymore.
turns out
Blah
for the
blah blah.
best.
Just end
What'll
up
the world
talking.
be like? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this, do you really think everything will be that different?
A lot will have to change, that's for sure. The world will have to adjust to so much. My only worry is if those changes turn out to be merely skin deep.
what do you mean?
It's well and good putting an end to Renan rule. But if it just turns the tables, it's all for naught.
That's true. Just as bad if the Danans started pressing their own.
Renans, Danans, astral art users, mages. The world is full of labels used to divide and separate people.
If only we could see differences like that for what they are. No different to someone having a musical talent or being good with their hands. Not differences so much as characteristics.
It will take someone in power to set an example. But with time, people will follow. And then, perhaps one day...
there will no longer be any need for the example. It will have become second nature.
That's where we come in. We can set the example. Imagine it. A world where
Damn.
magic and astral arts are used to help people. Where that's the norm rather than the exception.
Yeah,
that'll
you're
never
right,
happen,
Ringwell.
probably, right?
Why wait for somebody else? We can show them ourselves.
Okay, so where's the quick travel point here? Okay, let me get this straight, yeah? I'm gonna go to Ulzebek. Yeah? So now... I mean, we're gonna pause now, do side questing tomorrow.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Or the next time. And then... the main story after
she's
that.
Pretty cute.
Who are you looking at? Quit gawking and let's go.
Ow!
Also...
Hey, I just realized something.
don't know what it means that
Is this
special
our dinner
owls
last
are
night?
on
I
Dana
didn't
now.
realize those ingredients were off.
What? No, I mean... Wait, you fed us rotten food?
Rinwell, the point.
Oh, yeah, right. So I was thinking about those armored soldiers we've seen. There are regular Renans inside them, right?
Yeah, they're designed to make whoever's wearing them stronger. At least, I think that's the idea.
Right. So it kind of begs the question then, why are they made so huge?
I don't know, makes them more intimidating, I guess? Or maybe all that tech wizardry inside takes up a lot of space.
You don't think it's weird how the armored soldiers are the exact same height
Didn't I
as the
say that?
Helganquil?
Can't say I'd ever noticed it till now.
I did.
And?
Connect the dots, Law!
Okay, let me get this straight. You think the armored suits might have originally been designed to allow Renans to work alongside the Helganquil?
Huh. But if that's true, what would that mean?
It would mean... just that, I guess. But still, don't you think it's kind of interesting?
Not hugely. Hey, Kisara, well, I've got you. What's on tonight's menu? Because I was thinking maybe meat.
Get him, Poodle.
Fuck him up.
What did I do?
Oh, now you want to listen. Keep pecking, Hoodle.
Ow, ow, ow! Seriously, what the hell?
Attack Hootle.
You know, guys, when you think about it, we've taken out a lot of Zeugles. Like, a whole lot.
You can say that again. If one thing's for certain in this world, it's that wherever we go, we'll always end up bumping into them.
Isn't it weird that they're still so plentiful? You don't think the Renans have, like, a ranch where they breed them, do you?
Certainly in all of my years, I've never heard of them constructing such a massive facility on Dana, let alone up in Lenegus.
The only thing I can think of, then, is that the feral ones must be reproducing on their own.
I mean, are we surprised that
There's
monsters
also
are
no
banging?
organized effort on our part to hunt them down, so it's difficult to fully exterminate them.
Exterminate them?
Animals
Whoa, don't you
are
think
reproducing.
that's maybe a little harsh?
What do you mean?
Zeugles originally used to be living creatures native to Dana and Rena, right? Being genetically modified isn't their fault.
You're right. Zeugles were only created because of us Renans. We altered the original creatures to suit our own ends.
First, people made Zeugles, and then we let them go. And now we're trying to kill them because they're a threat. They really have only seen the very worst, huh?
I hope we find a way to be able to live side by side with them one day.
It's a nice thought, but they attack towns and cities. What else are we supposed to do?
Aside from the strays that have gone wild, it's worth remembering that Renans are able to keep them somewhat under control.
If we had distinct territories that didn't overlap, that might reduce the danger they pose.
Well, I guess when you look at it that way, maybe people and Zeugles aren't so different after all.
Huh, okay. So, I'm just gonna say, yeah, that... I mean... I guess we're just gonna stop here, then, and do the side questing next time, and then
like
hopefully finish the game after that. I guess. Oh. Although, oh. Well, I assume we're not. Oh, that's even better. I'm not gonna get those until after Renner or on Renner. Excuse me. Historia Renne. She finally gets a... Wait. Wait. What? Wait. I mean, we're gonna craft it. Well, okay. I mean, those weapons do look nice. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, okay. Okay. Those are weapons. Blue. This is fucking blue shield. I like it. Bless you. Thanks. Okay then. Well, I was just gonna rest. Yeah, I'm gonna cook before resting. I guess we're gonna just do some XP boosting, I guess. Maybe more dropped items. I don't know. Let's do more dropped items. And then next time we're just gonna do side quests, I guess, because that's all we can really do, can't we? Let's go to our favorite place, the Owl Forest, to chill with some Hootie boys, and then call it a day for now. I was thinking about.
I think Total senses something.
I was thinking about maybe potentially doing those side quests off stream, but I guess that is so. Yeah, so that's the action tomorrow. I think it's a little crazy to think that now, of all times, they give us open access to everything again, and they say, hey, how do you like some side quests? Because we have some in store for you. But I guess maybe this is gonna be the content that's gonna blow me away. I doubt it, but yeah. So I think that's what we're gonna do, I guess. Also, how do we find these special owls that they said? Because I don't really want to I don't really feel like walking through every single... I mean, we can teleport to most areas and just see if some are there. But, you know... Second, please. Okay, so, yeah. we're just gonna have to watch. Maybe I will look it up. I don't know, because I feel like walking through every area in the game is gonna be a little boring, right? This ending makes no sense. You're supposed to have fought the big guy by now. I was thinking, but I guess we're being held up by stuff. So yeah. So I guess thanks for watching. I'll end the stream then for now, and have a nice rest of the weekend and evening, and enjoy life, I guess. And yeah, bye bye.